the Surf Mastery Podcast. Today will be the first non-interview episode I've released, and I'm going to use it to answer some listener questions. Actually, it's the same question from a lot of different listeners. And that question is, how do I progress from being a beginner surfer into an intermediate surfer? So first we need to define those two categories. And I'm going to quote Nick Carroll from a Surfline article here. A beginner is a surfer who has yet to successfully paddle out alone and catch and ride a wave cleanly to its logical finish. An intermediate is a surfer who can successfully paddle out alone at a familiar location, catch and ride waves to a logical finish frontside and backside, confidently using three basic turns: the bottom turn, the top turn, and the cutback. Now that's a great definition, but we need to focus in on the transition between beginner and intermediate. So I would say that the final stages of the beginner surfer would be competence in catching unbroken waves and going straight to the beach. And the early stage of the intermediate surfer would be learning to catch unbroken waves and to ride along the face of the wave. So assuming that you can catch unbroken waves, stand up and ride towards the beach with ease, then you're ready to start transitioning into intermediate. The first concept you need to understand is that reading the ocean is the foundation of surfing. So no matter what level surfer you are, catching the wave and popping up in the right spot is the hardest thing in surfing. Once you're standing up on your board in the right part of the wave, surfing's actually pretty easy. The way that you see and feel the ocean, that's the skill you need to develop the most, no matter what level of surfer you are. So as a beginner surfer, this is a skill that you've already started to develop. You're reading the water in front of you between the white water and the beach. You have to read the water. Now, there's not much, it's pretty flat, but there's boils and foam and other lumps and sometimes rocks and people. So you're looking for a path in which you want your board to go. And then you're also feeling what the board is doing underneath you, whether you're lying down or standing up. So you already are reading the ocean in order to successfully ride a wave. Learning to read unbroken waves is much harder. Now, there's also another perspective and skill that you've developed as a beginner that needs to be acknowledged so that you can retain it. And that's the concept that surfing begins as soon as you begin to paddle for a wave, not once you've stood up. The beginner surfer starts surfing as soon as they paddle for the wave. For the beginner, the pop-up is simply part of surfing. You go from lying down to on your hands to standing up. As you do that, no matter how long it takes you to do it, the beginner maintains the board balanced, giving you a nice platform to stand on to ride the wave. Inversely, for most intermediate and advanced surfers, surfing begins once they get to their feet. This is the worst perspective that you can have in surfing because it just downplays the importance of the entry and the pop-up. So now, in order to catch unbroken waves, you need to look for the same thing you were looking for as a beginner, a path into which to surf the wave. And you also need to know that surfing begins once you start paddling for the wave and that the pop-up is simply part of surfing. Now, if you can maintain those two things throughout your surfing journey, you're going to progress much quicker. So basically, as you begin to paddle for the unbroken wave, you're looking for a path in which to surf. And then as you're paddling along that path, you'll feel the waves start to push you along that path without the need for paddling. Your goal now is to stay on that path and to adjust if need, and then just to take your time with the pop-up. Because remember, pop-up is part of surfing. You should be able to do it anywhere on the wave as a beginner, surfing small, gentle waves. Now, the path that you're looking for can be a straight line, just as you were as a beginner. You're looking at that straight line towards a beach, but now the straight line will go along the face of the wave. Or you might have to paddle in, pointing straight towards the beach, and then do a slow turn, and then go along the wave. Now, at first, the goal is just going to be to go along the face of part of the wave, or one section of the wave. Now, during the process of popping up, you just need to maintain your speed and direction, keeping the board stable. So, to summarize the concept, The skill of reading the way water moves in front of you and feeling it underneath you must now be modified and learnt in unbroken waves. And the skill that you have developed of being able to pop up slowly during the turbulence of the broken wave must now be modified to be able to do that during the acceleration and the glide of the unbroken wave. So those are the concepts you need to remember. Now here's some practical tips. A 7-step process. So the first step is stay in beginner mode and stay lying down and just try and change direction. You're in the white water, you're surfing towards the beach, stay lying down and just start doing turns from left to right. Just leaning to one side and leaning to the other. Just get a feel of what happens when you go from one rail to the other when you're lying down and see how that changes the direction and it changes the path you're on. Step 2, try to do the same thing on your hands and knees or your hands and thighs or halfway through the pop-up. And then step 3 would be doing the same thing standing up, still on the whitewater. Step 4 would be practice going along the unbroken wave lying down. So now you're going to be looking for that path in a straight line that's going along the wave or along the section of a wave, but stay lying down. There is no pressure to stand up. When you're lying down, you're more balanced and there's less distance to fall. Once you can do that, same thing. Try on your hands and knees and then standing. That's it. 7-step process. And stay on the same surfboard that you learnt on. There's no need to change board. A 7-8 foot soft top is perfect. That's it, just a short episode. If you guys like the format, let me know. If you have more questions, let me know.
I gotta get away sometimes. Oh yeah, I got to get away. I gotta slip away sometimes. Oh yeah, I got to slip away to my special place. I woke up, yeah, on a cloudy day. I'm feeling blase from last night's party. I gotta work today. Couldn't find my shoes to la-di-da-di. Excuse me, sir, me car broke down. Me missus left me with the baby now, and I can make that day today. It might have to be another day. I said I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. I gotta get away sometimes. Whoa, yeah. I got to get away. I gotta slip away sometimes. Oh, yeah. I got to slip away to my special place. I woke up, yeah, on a cloudy day. I'm feeling blase from last night's party. I've got to work today. I couldn't find my shoes to la-di-da-di. Excuse me, sir, me car broke down. Me missus left me with the baby now, and I can make that day today. It might have to be another day. I said I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. Got to get away. Got to get up sometimes, I'm gonna give you the feeling. Got to slip away. Blessing the place and with natural healing to our own special place. Got to get away from the noise of the city. I got to get away.